Once upon a time, in a quiet village, there lived a widow with two girls named Myra and Lila. Myra was kind, gentle, and always helpful. Lila, the younger, was clever but lazy. Their mother, Lila, more and left all the work for Myra to do. Myra woke early each morning. She swept the floor, fetched water, fed the hens. Lila slept late and scolded her sister. "You missed a spot," she'd sneer. One windy afternoon, Myra swept the steps. As she brushed, her old wooden broom snapped. A strange gust of wind carried the broken piece away. "Oh no," Myra whispered, chasing after it. It rolled into the woods behind their house. Myra followed it deeper and deeper. Suddenly, she came to a small clearing. In the center stood a crooked treehouse on chicken legs. A creaky voice called down, "Who disturbs my sleeping house?" Myra stepped forward shyly. "I'm sorry, my broom broke, and the wind led me here." A woman with wild hair and a pointy hat climbed down. She had a warm smile and sparkling eyes. "You must be polite to follow the wind," she said. "My name is Granny Wisp. Would you like a broom?" Myra nodded. "But I have no money." "Then pay with kindness," Granny Wisp replied. Myra spent the day helping Granny. She stirred glowing soup, fed talking crows, swept magical dust from under the house. That night, Granny handed Myra a broom. It shimmered with golden threads. "Sweep with care, and it will show you magic." Myra thanked her and headed home. As she swept the road on her way, flowers bloomed behind her. The wind danced gently by her side. At home, her mother and Lila gasped. "Where did you get that broom?" Myra told them everything. That night, Lila crept into the woods. She found the treehouse with chicken legs. Granny Wisp peered down. "What brings you to my forest?" "I want a golden broom too," Lila said. "Do you offer help in return?" "No," Lila replied. "I just want it." Granny Wisp raised an eyebrow. "Then sweep the yard and we'll see." Lila groaned and dragged the broom angrily. She complained, kicked the glowing mushrooms, shouted at the talking crows. That evening, Granny Wisp gave her a broom. It looked beautiful, glittering in gold. Lila snatched it and ran. But as she swept the path home, instead of flowers, weeds tangled behind her. The broom grew heavier and heavier. Back at home, the broom wouldn't stop sweeping. Dust flew into the air. Lila tripped and cried out. Myra ran and gently touched the broom. It stopped at once. "Only a kind hand can guide it," she said softly. Their mother looked ashamed. She had seen it all. "Myra," she whispered, "I've been unfair." The next morning, the house was quiet. Their mother made breakfast for once. Lila swept the front steps, slow but sincere. Myra smiled and handed her the old broom. The golden one stayed by Myra's bed. It only shimmered when she touched it. Sometimes it danced when she sang. Birds visited their window again. Flowers grew near the kitchen door. The wind seemed to hum whenever Myra passed. Granny Wisp returned once more. She watched from the forest edge. "The golden broom chose well," she said, and disappeared in a swirl of petals. From then on, the house felt lighter. Lila learned to help little by little. Their mother laughed more and scolded less. And when snow began to fall gently, Myra swept it aside with joy. The path sparkled behind her steps. She had brought magic home, not with spells, but with kindness. In a quiet village where stars shone bright, lived a girl named Ella who feared the night. While others dreamed, she lay awake, listening to the sounds the shadows make. She clutched her blanket, her heart held tight, wishing for courage, wishing for light. One evening, her grandmother said, "There's a lantern for dreamers by your bed." Ella turned and blinked with awe. A tiny glass lantern she never saw. Its frame was gold, its glow was blue, and stars inside it gently flew. "This is the lantern of dreams," said Gran, "but it only lights for a brave young hand." Ella touched it, and it softly shone, casting shadows that felt like home. That night, the lantern began to hum, a distant bell, a far-off drum. Then suddenly, without a sound, Ella floated right off the ground. Her blanket turned into silver wings. The lantern pulled her toward strange things. Through stars and clouds, through nighttime skies, she passed moons shaped like sleepy eyes. At last she landed, calm and slow, in a world that shimmered like morning snow. The grass was blue, the trees were light, and everything glowed in silver night. Where am I? Ella gently said. The land of lost dreams, a soft voice read. A girl stood nearby with hair like glass, holding a lantern made of brass. All dreams come here if left behind, dreams of the brave, the sweet, the kind. But many children forget to dream, or fear the night, or lose their gleam. Ella looked around and saw them float, dreams shaped like ships, stars, and notes. Some were stuck in cloudy jars. Others wept beneath dim stars. Can we help them? Ella asked. Yes, said the girl, but it's no easy task. You must find 3 forgotten dreams and light their lanterns with moonbeams. Dream 1, the balloon of joy. Ella followed laughter through the air and found a balloon caught in despair. I was a dream of birthday cheer, but the child who made me disappeared. Ella hugged it with glowing care, and the balloon rose, light as air. Dream 2, the seed of bravery. Deep in the woods, she found a seed, whispering softly of a need. I once grew tall inside a heart, but now I'm buried, torn apart. Ella knelt and kissed the ground, and the seed grew roots without a sound. Dream 3, the song in a jar. A dusty jar sat by a stream, holding a song from someone's dream. They feared the words, so they stayed inside, but I was meant to soar and glide. Ella opened the lid with care, and music burst into the air. The lanterns glowed from deep within. The land grew warmer, filled with wind. You've done it, said the silver girl. The dreams now spin, the stars now swirl. What about me? Ella asked, unsure. Do I return or stay impure? You've learned the truth, the girl said slow, that dreams don't leave when night winds blow. They're part of you, they help you see that light exists in bravery. With one last smile and lantern bright, Ella rose again into the night. Through quiet stars and sleeping skies, back home beneath the blankets rise. She awoke in her room, the lantern near, still warm and glowing, soft and clear. She wasn't afraid, not anymore. Her heart was light, her dreams restored. That night and many nights ahead, she closed her eyes and smiled in bed. She dreamed of laughter, stars, and songs, of places where all hearts belong. And sometimes, when the moon was high, her blanket fluttered in the sky. The dreams she helped would visit too, waiting quietly, just passing through. So if you're scared of sleep or dark, just hold your dreams inside your heart. And maybe, softly, they will gleam lit by a lantern from a dream. For even tiny lights can show the way your sleeping soul should go. The end. In a sparkling sea near a quiet shore lived a little turtle who dreamed of more. His name was Tycho, small and shy, with curious eyes and dreams that could fly. While others played in sand and foam, Tycho often wandered far from home. He wasn't fast, he wasn't bold, but he dreamed of stories yet untold. One evening, while tides turned blue, Tycho spotted something new. A shimmer deep beyond the reef, like glowing leaves beneath a leaf. He swam down slow, the water warm, and found a tunnel in coral form. It whispered, "Enter if you seek, a garden where time forgets to speak." Tycho followed, heart athrum, through glowing kelp and sea songs hummed. At last, he reached a hidden place, a shining garden lost in space. Flowers bloomed in crystal shells, stars floated in ocean wells. Tiny fish with lantern tails swam like shooting stars on trails. At the center, a clock with vines ticked softly to forgotten times. Beside it sat an ancient crab with mossy shell and thoughtful jab. "Who comes here?" the crab did say. "A turtle with dreams that drift away." Tycho bowed. "I just want to see. Is there more to life than just the sea?" The crab nodded with a sigh. "You've come to where the secrets lie." He waved his claw and time stood still. The garden hushed, the waves grew still. "Here," he said, "the future waits, but only truth can open gates." Tycho looked around and knew this garden grew what dreams once grew. A dolphin's wish, a crab's old song, a sailor's tale buried so long. "What's your dream?" the old crab asked. "To help the world," Tycho said fast. "I'm small and slow, not very grand, but maybe I can heal the sand. The reefs are tired, the shells are pale, the ocean sings a quieter tale." The crab smiled wide and slow. "Then plant your dream and let it grow." The dream blooms Tycho touched the sand with care, and from the ground rose bubbles of air. A glowing seed appeared so light and bloomed into a tree of white. The garden shook with silver wind. The future called, and time had thinned. "You've planted hope," the crab declared, "and that's a power gently shared." Tycho felt the sea around him change, the colors deeper, bright, and strange. The garden slowly turned to mist, like morning waves that don't exist. Returning home, he blinked, and he was back once more, near his reef, beside the shore. But something new was in the bay. A glowing sprout where turtles play. Coral grew where none had been, and fish returned with rainbow skin. The sea felt lighter, soft, and clear, and every creature gathered near. "What happened?" asked a puzzled ray. "You've brought a song into the bay." Tycho smiled and didn't boast, but whispered softly to the coast. "Sometimes small things change the tide, if they carry care inside." The lesson of Tycho? From then on, each reef and shell sparked with stories Tycho could tell. He wasn't fast, he wasn't tall, but hearts would listen when he'd call. Children turtles gathered close to hear the tale he told the most. Of a garden hidden out of sight that bloomed because of kindness and light. He taught them how to slow things down, how quiet love could heal a town. And when the moon was full and round, Tycho's dreams still spun the sound. A hum the waves began to keep, a song that rocked the fish to sleep. So if you're small and feel unseen, remember where hope once has been. Like Tycho, let your kindness grow, and watch the ocean gently glow. The end. In a forest far away, beneath a sky so wide, lived Fiona the fox with a heart full of pride. She loved to run through the trees at night, chasing shadows and catching light. But Fiona had a secret wish, to find the place where the stars all swish. The star garden, where lights would bloom and chase away the darkest gloom. One night, under the glowing moon, she heard a soft and gentle tune. It came from deep within the wood, where old trees stood tall and good. Curious, Fiona followed the sound, her paws soft on the mossy ground. Through tangled roots and sparkling streams, she moved as if within a dream. Suddenly, she found a glowing door, covered in stars and shining more. With a breath, she stepped inside, into a world where magic hides. The star garden was full of light, flowers glowing in the night. Each one held a shining star, bright as Jupiter or Mars. A wise old owl flew near her ear. "Welcome, Fiona, have no fear. The stars here grow with love and care, and dreams are nurtured everywhere." "But why do the stars sometimes fade?" Fiona asked, a little afraid. The owl blinked and softly said, "Because sometimes love is shed. When hearts grow cold or dreams grow thin, the light inside will dim within. But kindness, hope, and joy can bring back the light of everything." Fiona's quest, Fiona promised she'd protect the star garden's magic effect. She picked a star, soft and bright, to take back home and share its light. On her way, she met a hare, who looked so sad with drooping hair. "What's wrong?" Fiona gently said, "Why do you look so full of dread?" "I lost my way and miss my home. I'm scared to be here all alone. Fiona smiled and shared her star. Let's find your home, no matter how far. The star shone bright along their path, guiding them through night's soft bath. They laughed and hopped beneath the trees, riding the gentle evening breeze. The star garden's gift, when they reached the hare's warm den, he hugged Fiona then and then. Thank you for your shining light, you made my dark night bright. Fiona smiled, feeling glad, helping others made her heart feel had. She looked at her star's glowing gleam and knew she was part of a bigger dream. Back in the garden, stars grew tall, responding to her kindness call. The owl flew down to say goodbye. You've made the light and darkness fly. Returning home, Fiona stepped through the shining door, back to her forest floor. The night was calm, the moon was bright, the stars above twinkled with light. From that day on, Fiona knew the light inside her would shine through. She told her friends the story true about the star garden's magical hue. And every night when stars gleam high, Fiona looks up at the sky. She feels the warmth of love and care, and the magic that's everywhere. The lesson, if you ever feel alone or small, remember the stars that light us all. Kindness grows like flowers bright and fills the world with gentle light. Dreams can bloom when hearts are kind, and magic lives in you and I. So share your light and you will see the world become a mystery, a place where dreams and stars unite and darkness turns to shining light. So when you see the nighttime sky, think of Fiona's gentle try. To care, to share, to help, to glow, that's the magic we all know. Because the light that shines inside can never, ever be denied. It's in your heart, it's in your smile, and makes life's journey worth the while. The end. Welcome, little explorers. Tonight, we follow Ollie the owl on a magical journey to the Whispering Woods, a place where music has been lost, and only kindness and friendship can bring it back. Are you ready to listen to the forest's secret song? Let's begin. In a forest filled with silver light lived Ollie the owl who loved the night. With wide, bright eyes and feathers soft, he watched the stars from high aloft. Ollie wasn't just any bird, he could understand the forest's word. The trees would whisper when winds blew, and tell him secrets only few knew. One night, the wind spoke soft and low, the whispering woods need help to grow. The leaves were tired, the streams ran slow, and magic faded from the glow. Ollie blinked and stretched his wings. I'll help the forest, whatever it brings. He flew beyond the tallest tree to find the source of the mystery. Deep inside the ancient glade, a glowing flower softly swayed. Its petals drooped, its light was dim, and all around was growing grim. Why do you fade, little flower? Ollie asked with gentle power. Because the forest lost its song, and without music, I'm not strong. I'll find the song, said Ollie proud, and bring back music to this crowd. He listened close to every sound, but the forest was strangely bound. No birds sang, no rivers danced, even the breeze was barely glanced. Where has the music gone? He cried, without its song, how can I guide? Then from the shadows, soft and light, came a fox with eyes so bright. I know where music likes to hide. Come with me, I'll be your guide. Together they traveled past the hill, through the meadow calm and still. They crossed a brook that hummed a tune and followed it beneath the moon. At last they found a hidden cave where music danced and secrets gave, but guarded by a silent bear who sat so still without a care. Why do you guard the music's keep? Ollie asked with courage deep. The bear slowly opened one eye. I'm lonely here, and that's no lie. The forest lost its joyful sound, and so I stayed without a bound. If you come with us, Ollie said, we'll bring the music back instead. The bear agreed to come along, and soon the forest heard their song. The fox's laughter, light and clear, the bear's soft growl, a gentle cheer. Ollie's wings flapped strong and wide. The trees began to sing with pride. Streams sparkled with a lively tune underneath the glowing moon. The glowing flower opened bright, Bathing the woods in silver light, the forest hummed a happy song, and all the creatures sang along. Ollie learned that even when dark, a little hope can light a spark. When friends unite and voices blend, the magic of the woods can mend. Now every night beneath the stars, the forest sings from near to far. Ollie watches, proud and true, knowing the song will always renew. So if you feel your world is gray, remember Ollie and the day when silence turned to joyful sounds, and magic danced in leaps and bounds. Sometimes all it takes is care to bring back music in the air, to find the friends who light the way and turn the night to bright new day. The animals gather near the tree where music flows so wild and free. They dance beneath the silver light and celebrate the starry night. The owl hoots a gentle tune, the fox prances with the moon. The bear claps paws with hearty cheer, and all the forest feels so near. Friendship grows like songs and trees, it whispers softly in the breeze. So hold it close and let it shine, and you'll see magic every time. Whether you're big, whether you're small, the gift of friends is the best of all. Remember this as the night takes flight, friendship makes the darkest bright.
Hello, little dreamers. Tonight, we're going on a magical adventure with Luna, a curious little fox, to find the legendary Crystal Lake, a place where wishes come true. Are you ready? Let's begin. Luna, the fox, had fur soft and bright. She loved to play beneath the moonlight. But in her heart, a secret she kept of a lake where the stars softly wept. The Crystal Lake was said to glow with magic waters that shimmered so it could grant wishes, big and small, but only to those who heard its call. One evening, Luna heard a song, a melody sweet, pure, and long. It came from deep within the trees, where moonlight danced upon the leaves. Could this be the lake's soft tune? Luna wondered beneath the moon. She packed some berries, wrapped in leaves, and set off quietly through the eaves. Through whispering woods and glowing streams, Luna followed her moonlit dreams. She met a squirrel with bright eyes, who joined her quest beneath the skies. "I know the way," the squirrel said, "but dangers lurk ahead," he pled. "Together we're strong, we'll be just fine. The lake awaits past the twisted pine." They climbed over rocks slick with moss, listening close for night's soft gloss. Owls hooted in the distance near, filling the night with sounds so clear. Suddenly, the ground began to shake. A gentle rumble made the lake awake. Before them stood a giant stone, covered with vines and moss overgrown. "This is the gate of the Crystal Lake," said the squirrel with a breath to take. "To open it, a wish you must say, with a heart so true, it will give way." Luna closed her eyes and wished with care. "I wish for kindness everywhere." The stone shimmered and moved aside, revealing the lake in all its pride. The water sparkled with colors bright, reflecting the stars and moonlight. Luna stepped close, filling the gleam, and whispered softly to the stream, "Please, Crystal Lake, help me see how to make the world happy and free." The lake bubbled with gentle light and gifted her wings to take flight. Luna soared above the trees, carried by a soft night breeze. She saw the village, dark and gray, and knew just what she'd do that day. She spread kindness with every leap, helping lost creatures find their keep. She brought smiles to faces sad, and made the lonely feel less bad. The village glowed with joy and new, thanks to Luna and the magic she drew. The Crystal Lake had shown the way that kindness grows with every day. Now every night when stars shine bright, the village sleeps in peaceful light, and Luna watches from up high, protecting all beneath the sky. The Crystal Lake's magic flows, where the softest kindness grows, and all who believe can find their way to a world where dreams always stay. So if you hear a nighttime song, follow it gently, don't wait long. You might find magic just like her, where wishes dance and dreams occur. Through forests deep and skies so wide, The greatest magic lives inside, in every smile, in every deed, in every heart that helps those in need. Luna's story now comes to rest, but your own magic's still the best. So dream big dreams and let 'em grow like a river's gentle flow. Tomorrow brings new things to see, adventures waiting just for thee. And when night falls once again, the crystal lake will call your name. Listen closely for its song, and you'll find where dreams belong. A place where kindness lights the way, and magic never fades away. So hold your heart and take a chance. Join Luna in her gentle dance. Together we can make it right, and fill the world with shining light. Remember, kindness is the key to unlock magic for you and me.
Hello, little stars. Tonight we'll journey with Princess Myra, a kind-hearted girl who discovers a magical garden hidden beyond her castle. But this isn't just any garden, it holds the power to grow dreams. Are you ready to follow her? Let's begin. In a kingdom wrapped in twilight skies, lived Princess Myra, gentle and wise. She loved the stars, the breeze, the trees, and spent her days in quiet ease. But deep inside her royal heart, she wished to play a greater part. There must be more than royalty and learning rules and embroidery. One night beneath a silver moon, she heard a flute play soft in tune. The melody came from the palace wall, behind a door so small and tall. "I've never seen this gate before," she whispered, pushing on the door. It opened wide with golden light, revealing something pure and bright. A hidden garden stretched so wide, with glowing flowers side by side, trees of glass and vines that sang, and bells of wind that softly rang. In awe, she stepped onto the ground. The grass hummed with a tinkling sound. A soft voice said, "You found the place where dream seeds bloom with care and grace." Before her stood Fairy Queen, with wings that shimmered blue and green. "Only those with hearts so true can help our garden grow anew. But I'm just Myra, nothing more." The princess sighed and looked to the floor. The fairy smiled and gently said, "You're more than jewels upon your head." She gave Myra a velvet bag filled with seeds and a silver tag. "Plant these dreams with love and song, and this garden will grow strong." So Myra worked from dawn till night, watering seeds in morning light. She sang of joy, she sang of peace, and every day the blooms increased. One rose was shaped like a tiny book, another glowed when you just looked. A tulip hummed a lullaby, a lily danced beneath the sky. Then one dark day the garden dimmed. The clouds grew thick, the wind turned grim. The flowers drooped, the colors fled, the magic paused, the singing dead. Myra cried, "What did I do wrong?" Her voice no longer felt so strong. The fairy queen returned that night, her wings still glowing, soft and bright. "A test," she said, "has come to you. Will you give up or see it through?" Myra wiped her tears away and faced the dark without delay. She played her flute with shaking hands and sang aloud across the lands. She sang of dreams and those in need. She sang for hope, not royal greed. The wind slowed down, the clouds moved fast, and sunlight poured in bright and vast. The flowers rose and swayed again, and sang with Myra through the glen. The fairy bowed with shining pride. Your voice brought back what fear had tied. The garden blooms with hearts that care, not crowns or gowns or braided hair. Myra smiled and knelt to see a tree had grown a dreaming tree. It glowed with wishes made by all, from children big and dreamers small. "What happens now?" the princess asked. "Is my dream done or just one task?" "This garden grows with every song, and you must help it all lifelong." So Myra danced with every day, helping new dreamers find their way. She taught the young to plant their dreams, to sing their hopes and share their schemes. Her castle gates were opened wide, and laughter echoed deep inside. No longer ruled by crown alone, but by a voice the world had known. The garden bloomed beyond the walls, in quiet towns and palace halls. And every child who dared to try grew blossoms stretching to the sky. Princess Myra's name was sung by tiny voices, old and young. For kindness, courage, dreams, and grace, she left a light in every place. And when you dream beneath moonbeams, you walk beside her in your dreams. So close your eyes and you may see a petal from her dreaming tree.
Hello, little adventurers. Tonight, let us dive into the story of Princess Lyra, a kind girl from a seaside kingdom who hears a mysterious whisper in a seashell. Follow her on a magical journey beneath the waves. In a palace by the ocean shore, lived Princess Lyra, who longed for more. Though royal life was calm and grand, she yearned to know the sea's own land. She'd walk the beach at morning light, watching the waves roll soft and white. One day, she found a glowing shell that shimmered with a mystic spell. She held it close and heard it speak, a gentle whisper, slow and sleek. Princess Lyra, brave and kind, a world below you soon will find. She gasped and held it to her heart. What do you mean? Where do I start? At midnight's tide, the shell replied. Step in the sea and take the ride. That night, she slipped beneath the moon, her silver gown a flowing plume. She stepped into the glowing waves with courage all the ocean craves. A bubble wrapped around her hair and pulled her gently through the air, down past coral, reef, and stone, where fish and light together shone. She landed near a golden gate, where seaweed guards would calmly wait. We've waited long, the dolphin said. The ocean queen is ill in bed. Only kindness heals her pain, and you've been chosen to break the chain. Lyra blinked, but did not fear. She took a step and said, I'm here. They swam through halls of sapphire glass, passing in whales and dancing bass. The ocean queen lay pale and blue, her crown dimmed down, her smile askew. Dear child, she whispered, soft and low, the seas forget what makes them glow. Help me show them love again, the heart that lives in every fin. Lyra reached into her dress and pulled the shell out with finesse. It hummed and glowed with moonlight grace and cast a warmth across the place. Let every creature feel the light of kindness shared without a fight, not for treasure, crown, or throne, but love that stands when all's unknown. The water danced around the queen, her scales grew bright, her eyes serene, her strength returned, her fins unfurled, her voice rang out across the world. Let the ocean sing once more, from deepest cave to sandy shore. The dolphins spun in joyful rings, while turtles flapped their flippered wings. The sea lit up in colors wide, with jellyfish and whales in stride, and Princess Lyra, floating near, was crowned with shells behind her ear. Stay with us, the queen then said, a home beneath the sea instead. But Lyra smiled with gentle grace. My people wait in another place, but I'll return when I am grown, to help the sea be kind and known. She kissed the shell and held it tight, and rose again, toward morning light. The bubble carried her up high, past rays of sun that pierced the sky. Back on shore, her dress now dry, she stood with wonder in her eye. The seashell still was in her hand, and when she spoke, it played a band, a tune of whales and singing waves, of coral hearts and mermaid caves. The kingdom cheered to see her back, and followed her along the track. For Lyra shared the tales she knew, and taught the ways of waters true. She built a school beside the bay, where land and sea could learn and play. Children came from far and wide, to hear her tales at eve. She wore no crown, but seashell beads, and lived a life of noble deeds. She taught them all to care and try, to listen deep and not deny. And when the waves would sing her name, she'd smile, remembering how she came. A princess not by jewels or might, but by her heart in gentle light. So if you find a glowing shell, hold it close and listen well, for kindness flows through every stream, and every heart can hold a dream.
Hello, curious minds. Tonight's story is about Milo, a small mouse with a big heart who lives in a magical forest where the moonlight hides a powerful secret. Let's follow Milo on his brave journey. Deep in a forest, quiet and wide, where fireflies danced and mushrooms hide, lived little Milo, a gentle mouse, in a walnut shell he called a house. He swept his floor and brewed leaf tea, dreaming of things he'd one day be. I may be small, he'd softly say, but I'll do something grand one day. One evening came with golden mist. The moon peeked out like a sleepy fist. Milo climbed to his mossy roof when the air grew still and oddly aloof. A glowing owl flew through the night with feathers made of silver light. Moonlight Hollow is under spell, and only the brave can make it well. Who's brave enough? The owl did cry. The stars are fading from the sky. Milo blinked, then raised his paw. I'll try, he said with tiny awe. The owl dipped low and touched his head, then follow where the moonbeams tread. With a gust of wind, they took to flight above the woods into the night. They soared past lakes and thorny vines, past whispering trees and hidden signs. At last they reached a crystal glade where moonlight danced and shadows played. This is the hollow, the owl said low, where magic sleeps and dreams must grow. But something dark was creeping near, a smoky shape of tangled fear. That's the gloom, the owl did say. It feeds on light and fades the day. What can I do? Asked little Milo. I have no sword, nor shield to throw. You have your heart, the owl replied, and courage you hold deep inside. The gloom let out a chilling hiss as shadows crawled across the mist. Milo stood with legs so small, but his voice was clear and stood up tall. You cannot steal what isn't yours. This light belongs to forest shores. The gloom laughed out, a bitter sound, and wrapped around the hollow ground. But Milo reached into his vest and pulled the thing he loved the best, a tiny bell his grandma gave that once had rung inside a cave. This holds love, said brave Milo. It's stronger than what you can throw. He rang the bell with all his might, and out it spilled a golden light. It sang with notes both pure and high that echoed deep into the sky. The gloom howled loud and tried to run, but moonlight burst like rising sun. It burned the smoke, it healed the trees, it brushed the stars and calmed the breeze. The owl flapped wide and sang with joy. You did it, Milo, clever boy. The hollow sparkled once again, and tiny flowers bloomed like rain. The moon returned, full, proud, and round, with stars like diamonds all around. The animals danced with all their might, under the warm and healing light. Milo smiled and bowed with grace. I only did what felt in place. Sometimes it takes a heart so small to change the fate of creatures all. The owl gave him a feather bright. This holds the glow of forest night. And anytime the dark feels near, just ring your bell and face the fear. They flew back home through skies so wide, with fireflies blinking side by side. Milo's house felt twice as warm, his heart still glowing from the storm. He hung the feather by his bed and kissed the bell before he said, I may be small, but now I see that light and love are inside me. The forest whispered through the trees with sleepy winds and gentle breeze. Thank you, Milo, creatures said as they curled in mossy beds. And from that night till forest's end, the mouse was known as all hearts' friend. So if you hear a silver bell that rings like stars within a shell, look to the trees or skies above. It's Milo's light, it's Milo's love. And when you're small but choose what's right, you too become a spark of light.
Welcome to a world where dreams sparkle and lanterns carry magic. Tonight, we follow Luna, a curious girl who dares to chase the light beyond the clouds. Once upon a time, in a quiet valley, wrapped in starlight, lived a girl named Luna. Luna was known for her bright eyes and her love of the sky. Every night, she would climb to the rooftop and count the stars, One evening, she saw something strange. A glowing lantern floated down from the moon. It shimmered with colors she'd never seen. Slowly, it descended until it landed gently in her hands. A note was tied to its golden string. To the one who believes in wonder, it read, "Follow the light, and you shall find the realm of dreams." Luna's heart pounded with excitement. "I must go," she whispered quietly. She packed a small satchel with a book, a biscuit, and her favorite scarf. She held the lantern tight and stepped into the night. With each step, the lantern rose, pulling her feet off the ground. Higher and higher, she floated above rooftops, past clouds, beyond stars. Soon, she reached a sparkling gate in the sky. It was carved from moonstone and whispered lullabies. "Do you seek the realm of dreams?" asked a gentle voice. Luna nodded. The gates opened without a sound. Inside, glowing animals danced in the air. Trees made of crystal chimed in the wind. A rabbit with silver fur approached her. "Welcome, dream seeker," he said with a bow. "You have been chosen to relight the lantern tower." "Why is it dark?" asked Luna. "Children have stopped dreaming," he replied sadly. "Only someone pure of heart can rekindle the light." Luna followed the rabbit through floating forests. She crossed bridges woven from moonbeams. A gentle fog curled around her feet. Finally, they reached the lantern tower. It stood tall, cold, and dim. "Place your lantern on the altar," said the rabbit. Luna did so with care. The altar glowed, but nothing happened. "You must give it a dream," whispered the wind. Luna closed her eyes and thought deeply. "I dream of a world where every child feels safe and loved." A single spark flew from her heart to the lantern. Then another and another. Suddenly, boom, the tower burst into radiant light. Lights flew into the sky like fireflies. The forest cheered. "The dreams have returned," cried the rabbit. The lantern floated back to Luna. "You may take this gift home," he said. "Share it with your world." With a swirl of starlight, Luna was carried back. Down, down, through silver clouds and soft skies. She landed gently in her bed, the lantern glowing beside her. Was it all a dream? She wasn't sure. But from that day on, she always dreamed in color. And every morning, she told her little brother stories of floating forests. Her room glowed with wonder. One evening, her brother asked, "Do you think I could dream like that?" "Of course," Luna said. She placed the lantern beside his bed. That night, he dreamed of flying whales and jelly bean trees. And the next night, his friends did too. Soon, the whole village began to dream again. Children drew pictures of star bridges. They built lanterns from paper and light. Luna smiled as she saw the spark return to their eyes. The rabbit sometimes visited in dreams. "You've done well," he'd say. "The light is spreading." Luna knew her journey wasn't over. One day, others would carry the lantern too. Maybe you, little dreamer, are next. All you have to do is believe. The lantern still rests on her windowsill, and every time the moon is full, it flickers. A reminder that the realm of dreams is never far. Not for those who wonder, not for those who imagine, and certainly not for you. For the bravest journeys begin with a single wish, just like Luna's. So, tonight, close your eyes. Let your heart glow and see where your dream will take you. Maybe you'll meet the rabbit too. Maybe you'll find your own tower. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll build one yourself. The lantern is waiting. Are you ready to dream? Have you ever wondered what happens when a kind heart meets a little bit of magic? This is the story of Nina and her rainbow boots. Once upon a time, in the village of Pebblebrook, lived a joyful girl named Nina. She loved jumping in puddles, picking wildflowers, and giggling with the wind. But her shoes had holes, and her socks were always soggy. One rainy morning, she wandered near the river, her toes cold and squishy. Beneath an old willow tree, something sparkled. A pair of boots shimmered in every color of the rainbow. Nina looked around. No one. She touched them gently, then slipped them on. Puff! The boots hugged her feet with a warm, tingly swoosh. She floated into the air, spinning and laughing. A gentle voice whispered, "Kind hearts guide the boots." Nina blinked. Who said that? But the boots tugged her forward, straight into the woods. In a clearing, a little cloud sat on a rock, crying. "I lost my giggle. It's..." Nina crossed her eyes and puffed her cheeks. The cloud snorted, then burst into giggles. A rainbow splashed across the sky. "Thank you." The cloud beamed and floated away. The boots glowed a little brighter. Next, Nina bounced into a sunny meadow. A bunny family huddled under a leaf. "Our burrow washed away," said the mother bunny. Nina clapped her hands with a smile. The boots shimmered. Bushes gently bent and wove into a leafy little home. "You're safe now," Nina said kindly. The bunnies cheered, their noses twitching. A golden light twirled around her boots. Then a soft wind carried Nina to a rocky hill. A grumpy troll sat there, his eyebrows full of moss. "No one ever smiles at me," he muttered. "Have you smiled at them?" Nina asked. "I forgot how." The troll sighed. Nina gave him a cookie and a hug. The troll blinked and smiled for the first time in years. "That's your first magic smile," Nina giggled. The rocks glittered with fairy dust. The boots hummed and lifted her into the sky. They flew past stars and clouds to a floating island. A glowing castle stood tall, made of moonlight and stardust. A winged queen stepped forward. "Nina," she said warmly, "the boots chose you because your heart is kind." Nina smiled and curtsied. "Would you like to be our kindness hero?" "Do I still get to jump in puddles?" Nina asked. The queen laughed. "Every single day." The boots sparkled even brighter. Now Nina could fly anywhere to help anyone. She taught a lonely star to shine. She helped bees find their way home. She gave songs back to trees that had forgotten how to sing. Everywhere Nina danced, kindness bloomed. Back in Pebblebrook, people noticed colorful skies. "It's Nina," children whispered. "She's helping someone again." The village built a statue of her, smiling in her boots. Some mornings, children found rainbow pebbles near their doors. "That's a kindness pebble," said the elders. "If you help someone, it might glow." So kids began to sing to sleepy trees, share their snacks with squirrels, and build bug hotels during the rain. The whole village sparkled with joy. It became a place full of warmth and wonder. As for Nina, she still soared above the clouds. Her boots lit up the sky like lanterns. No one knew where she'd land next. Some said she danced on stars. Others swore they saw her in their dreams. But everyone agreed, if you're kind, if you listen, if you help with your heart, the magic of Nina might walk with you. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a special pair of boots waiting under your bed, in your garden, or in the next puddle you jump in. So keep your heart open, your feet ready, and your smile bright, because the world needs more magic. The world needs more kindness. The world needs more kids like you. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wished you could touch them? Tonight, we'll meet Luna, a brave girl who did just that. In the quiet village of Silverwood, there lived a curious girl named Luna. She loved the night sky more than anything else in the world. Every evening, she sat by her window, watching stars twinkle like tiny lanterns. One night, when the moon was full and bright, Luna heard a soft whisper calling her name. She tiptoed outside and followed the gentle glow to the edge of the enchanted forest. There, hidden beneath silver leaves, was a secret garden shimmering with starlight. The garden was filled with glowing flowers and sparkling fountains. In the center stood a wise old tree with eyes that sparkled like stars. "Welcome, Luna," the tree said kindly. "I am the guardian of the Starlight Garden." Luna's eyes widened with wonder. "The garden is losing its light," the tree explained. "The stars need your help to shine bright again." Luna nodded bravely, feeling a warm magic pulse in her heart. The tree gave her a silver lantern that glowed softly. "Follow the light, and you will find the lost stars." With the lantern in hand, Luna stepped onto the garden's glowing path. She saw tiny stars flickering and fading among the flowers. Luna carefully gathered each star in her hands. As she did, they whispered secrets of the night and sang soft lullaby. Her heart felt warm and strong with every star she saved. Suddenly, a shadow crossed the garden. A gentle night fox appeared. "Hello, Luna," the fox said with a friendly smile. "I'll help you find the last stars." Together, they ventured deeper into the forest. They crossed glowing rivers and climbed shining hills. Along the way, Luna learned to listen to the wind's soft songs. The fox taught her how to see magic in the smallest things. After a long journey, they found the final star hidden in a crystal cave. The star was dim and sad, trapped behind shimmering walls. Luna held out her lantern, and its light grew stronger. The crystal walls melted like ice under the warm glow. The star shone brightly. Once again, Luna and the fox carried the stars back to the garden. They placed each star carefully in the branches of the old tree. The garden lit up with dazzling light, brighter than ever before. The tree smiled and said, "Thank you, Luna. Your kindness saved the night." Luna looked up and saw the stars shining proudly in the sky. She felt proud and happy inside. From that night on, Luna became the keeper of the Starlight Garden. Every evening, she cared for the stars in the magical garden. She knew that even the smallest light could brighten the darkest night. And with her new friend, the Night Fox, Luna's adventures had only just begun. The village of Silverwood often saw the gardens glow from afar. Children would look up at the sky and dream of magic. They whispered stories of Luna, the girl who saved the stars. And sometimes, when the night was very still, they could hear soft lullabies carried by the wind. The end. Or perhaps the beginning of many more magical nights.
Have you ever heard the wind whisper secrets? Tonight we'll join Milo on a magical adventure to save a forest full of wonders. In the heart of a quiet village lived a curious boy named Milo. He dreamed of adventures beyond the hills and trees he knew so well. Near his home lay the Whispering Woods, named for the soft voices carried by the wind. One bright morning, Milo packed a small bag and walked toward the forest. As he stepped beneath the trees, the leaves rustled gently like a secret song. A flicker of shimmering light danced between the branches. Milo followed it and found a tiny fairy caught in a spider's web. Her wings fluttered weakly as she struggled to break free. "Don't worry," Milo whispered softly. "I'll help you." He carefully untangled the sticky threads until the fairy was free. "Thank you, Milo," she said with a bright smile. "I'm Lila, guardian of these woods." Lila told Milo the forest's magic was fading because an ancient stone was missing. Without it, the Whispering Woods would soon lose their magic forever. Milo's heart filled with courage. He promised to help save the enchanted forest. Lila gave him a glowing acorn to guide him on his journey. Excited, Milo ventured deeper into the woods. He crossed sparkling streams and climbed mossy rocks. Along the way, he met Orin, a wise owl who could speak. "The stone is hidden in the Cave of Echoes," said Orin, "but the path is full of challenges." Thanking Orin, Milo followed the glowing acorn's light. The forest grew darker, and strange whispers echoed all around. Milo kept his courage strong, thinking of Lila's hope. He reached the Cave of Echoes, its entrance shimmering with mist. Inside, crystals sparkled on the walls, and every sound bounced back like a whisper. Suddenly, a soft growl echoed through the cave. A gentle forest dragon appeared, guarding the ancient stone. Its scales shone like emeralds, and its eyes were kind. Milo bowed respectfully. "I seek the stone to save the Whispering Woods," he said. The dragon smiled. "To prove your heart is true, you must answer my riddle." Milo nodded, ready to listen. The dragon said, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Milo thought carefully. "An echo," he exclaimed. The dragon's eyes twinkled. "Correct. Your heart is wise and true." The dragon stepped aside, revealing the glowing ancient stone. Milo took the stone, feeling its warm magic pulse in his hands. He thanked the dragon and hurried back to the garden. Lila awaited him, her wings sparkling with hope. As Milo placed the stone back, the forest came alive again. Golden leaves shimmered, flowers bloomed, and the whispers grew happy and loud. The magic of the Whispering Woods was restored. Lila smiled. "Thanks to you, Milo, the forest will thrive once more." Milo felt proud and joyful inside. He promised to visit often and protect the magical woods. From that day, Milo was known as the brave friend of the Whispering Woods. The villagers sang songs and told stories of his great adventure. And on quiet nights, if you listen carefully, you can still hear the woods whispering their thanks. The end. Have you ever dreamed of meeting a magical unicorn? Tonight, join Ellie on a sparkling adventure full of wonder and friendship. Ellie was a kind-hearted girl who lived in a small village surrounded by hills. She loved to dream and imagine magical places beyond the clouds. One evening, as the stars twinkled brighter than ever, Ellie saw a shimmering light outside her window. Curious, she stepped outside and gasped. There, in her garden, stood a beautiful unicorn with a silver horn that sparkled like moonlight. "Hello, Ellie," the unicorn said softly. "I'm Luna, the dream unicorn. I need your help." Ellie's eyes widened with excitement and wonder. Luna explained that the dream meadow was losing its magic. Without the magic, the dreams of children everywhere would fade away. Ellie knew she had to help. Luna lowered her head and touched her horn to Ellie's hand. A warm glow filled Ellie's heart. Together, they soared into the night sky, leaving the village behind. They flew over sparkling rivers and glowing forests. Soon, they reached the dream meadow, a place of swirling colors and floating lights. But something was wrong. The colors were dull, and the lights flickered weakly. Luna said, "We must find the Crystal of Dreams to restore the magic." Ellie nodded bravely. They followed a trail of stardust that led to a hidden cave. Inside, shadows danced along the walls. Suddenly, a gentle voice called out. "I guard the Crystal of Dreams," said a wise old owl perched on a glowing branch. "To earn the crystal, you must show kindness and courage." Ellie smiled and shared stories of hope and friendship. The owl's eyes sparkled with approval. "Your heart is pure," he said. "The crystal is yours." The owl gave Ellie a shining crystal that pulsed with light. Ellie and Luna hurried back to the meadow. As Ellie held the crystal high, the colors returned, bright and beautiful. The lights danced happily across the sky. Dreams sparkled in the eyes of children everywhere. Luna turned to Ellie with a grateful smile. "Thank you, Ellie. Because of you, dreams will never fade." Ellie felt a warm glow inside her heart. She knew this was a night she would never forget. They flew back to the village just as dawn began to glow. Ellie waved goodbye to Luna, promising to always believe in magic. The village awoke to a sky painted with colors of hope and wonder. Children laughed and dreamed, feeling the magic in the air. Ellie's heart was full of joy. She whispered, "Thank you for the adventure, Luna." And sometimes, when the night is clear, Ellie looks up and sees a silver sparkle, a reminder that magic is never far away. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to be kind and keep dreaming.
Have you ever dreamed of flying high into the sky? Let's join Tara as she discovers a magical castle above the clouds. Tara was a curious girl who loved to watch clouds float by. She dreamed of soaring high above the world, where the clouds whispered secrets. Every day, she would lie on the grass, staring up at the sky for hours. She imagined what it would be like to touch the fluffy clouds. One sunny afternoon, Tara found something shiny on her windowsill. It was a silver feather that shimmered in the sunlight. As she picked it up, a soft voice called her name from outside. She looked up and saw a glowing bird with wings that sparkled like stars. "Hello, Tara," the bird said gently. "I am Nimbus, the messenger of the Cloud Castle." Tara's eyes sparkled with wonder and excitement. "Nimbus, can you take me to the Cloud Castle?" she asked eagerly. "Yes, but first, we must find the lost cloud key," said Nimbus. Tara nodded bravely, ready for her magical adventure. Together, they flew towards the tallest mountain nearby. The wind rushed past her as they soared higher and higher. At the mountain's peak, the air shimmered with a soft, magical glow. They discovered a sparkling crystal cave hidden behind misty clouds. But the entrance was blocked by floating, glowing symbols. Nimbus said, "To enter, you must solve the riddle that unlocks the cave." Tara focused carefully on the glowing symbols. The riddle read, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. What am I?" Tara thought deeply, then smiled brightly. "Fire," she exclaimed with confidence. The cave entrance opened gently with a soft breeze. Inside, the cloud key rested on a pedestal, glowing with blue light. Tara reached out and took the key into her hands. She felt its magic humming warmly inside her. With the key, they flew up through swirling clouds towards the cloud castle. The castle floated on fluffy white clouds, sparkling under the sun's warm light. Inside, Tara met Queen Sira, the gentle ruler of the skies. The queen explained the cloud key was the source of the castle's magic. Without it, the castle's power would slowly fade away. Tara promised to keep the key safe and protect the magic. Suddenly, dark storm clouds gathered just outside the castle walls. A powerful storm threatened to steal the magic from the skies. Tara held the cloud key high above her head. The key began to glow brighter and brighter. The storm clouds parted, revealing a shining rainbow stretching across the sky. The magic of the cloud castle was saved once again. Queen Sira smiled warmly. "Thank you, Tara. You are a true guardian of the skies." Tara felt proud and joyful deep inside her heart. She flew back home with Nimbus, the silver feather glowing softly in her hand. From that day forward, Tara watched the clouds with new wonder and hope. She knew that magic was real and could be found by those who believed. Sometimes, on quiet nights, she could still hear the soft song of the cloud castle, the magical castle far above the clouds, always watching over her. And she knew that adventures like this were only just beginning. Thanks for watching. Keep dreaming and believing in magic. Hi, little dreamers. Ready for a magical tale? Today we follow a brave girl named Nina into a whispering forest where nature speaks and hearts shine bright. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by hills, lived a curious girl named Nina. Nina loved to read books, especially stories about magic, forests, and talking animals. Every evening, she sat by the window and dreamed of adventures far beyond her home. One breezy morning, Nina woke up to find something unusual on her windowsill. It was a glowing feather, soft, silver, and shimmering with rainbow colors. The feather twitched gently, then floated into the air as if inviting her to follow. Without a second thought, Nina grabbed her cloak and hurried after it. It led her to the edge of a forest no one ever entered, the forest of echoes. The trees there whispered softly, and the leaves sparkled like emeralds. As soon as Nina stepped inside, she felt a strange warmth surround her. She walked carefully as the feather danced ahead, glowing brighter. The deeper she went, the more alive the forest seemed. The trees bent slightly, almost as if they were watching her. Birds sang melodies she had never heard before, sweet and full of magic. Suddenly, a silver squirrel jumped from a branch and landed in front of her. "Welcome, Nina," the squirrel said with a bow. "You're the listener. The forest chose you." Nina blinked in surprise. "Me? Why me?" "Because you believe in magic," the squirrel replied with a smile. He motioned for her to follow, and she did, heart pounding with wonder. They passed a stream that sang songs of ancient tales. They crossed a bridge made of vines and glowing moss. Finally, they reached a clearing where a giant crystal flower stood. It pulsed softly, its petals dim and drooping. "The heart of echoes," the squirrel whispered, "is fading." Animals of every kind sat quietly around it. Owls, foxes, even a gentle dragonfly. "The forest is losing its voice," said a deer with golden eyes. Nina stepped closer to the flower, feeling the echoes stir. "Only you can restore its light," the squirrel said gently. "How?" Nina asked, looking around. "Listen to the echoes," whispered all the animals together. She closed her eyes and let the whispers flow through her mind. They were stories of love, bravery, kindness, and hope. Nina began repeating the stories out loud, word by word. Each tale she spoke made the flower glow a little brighter. She spoke of a girl who helped a bird with a broken wing, of a boy who shared his last meal with a stranger, of a fox who protected a family of rabbits. With every tale, the crystals shimmered stronger. The forest lit up with joy and gentle music filled the air. "You did it," cried the squirrel, dancing in delight. The crystal bloomed fully, radiant and strong. Petals opened and light poured out like a sunrise. A crown made of ivy and starlight appeared on Nina's head. "You are now the guardian of the forest," said the golden-eyed deer. Nina smiled, filled with warmth, magic, and happiness. The forest animals gathered around her in celebration. They gave her the glowing feather as a gift, a piece of the forest heart. From that day on, Nina returned often to visit her magical friends. She listened to new echoes and told new stories to keep the forest alive. The villagers saw the forest shine and began to believe in magic again. Children played at its edges, hoping to hear whispers of their own. Nina's name became legend, the girl who brought the forest back to life. Her kindness became a part of every tree, every breeze, every flower, and the forest of echoes never fell silent again. It whispered to all who entered, "Kindness lives here." Every leaf told a tale, every wind carried a song, and deep inside, the crystal flower still glowed, warmed by Nina's stories. At night, when Nina closed her eyes, the feather whispered dreams into her ear. She dreamed of stars and songs, of peace and laughter. The forest and Nina remained connected by heart and magic forever.